Hello and welcome to Dropkick the Commute for June 24th, 2024, 6/24/24. Woohoo! Baby! Galeer, how are you?
Dude, I've never been better. That's a lie. I've definitely been better at some point. But, like, not in, like, a pick-me kind of way. Like, don't feel, like, oh, like, what's wrong? No. It's just, like, you know, it's Monday.
Yeah.
We're back to the grind. I had a longer weekend than usual. And, you know, we forgot to talk about this in the last one. Ooh. But GCW finally made its fucking return to Twitch.
Hell yeah, brother. Dude, it was fire.
Let's cover it, like, rapid fire real quick.
Okay.
GCW, the premiere, season 4 was crazy. It was a crazy show. And some of you might be wondering, like, what the hell is GCW? We're not talking game changer wrestling. We're talking about Galeer Championship Wrestling.
The only GCW that matters.
Ooh.
It's official.
That's not coming out of my mouth.
That's a Mufussy original.
Yeah, that's not Brett Lauderdale. I don't want no beef with you. I love your product. I go to your shows. Confused why all of your shows are like rap lyric, like they're named after rap lyrics though. But that's beside the point. GCW, the premiere, Galeer Championship Wrestling. You can catch it on YouTube and Twitch. Go check it out. If you know, you know. Big news coming out of that show was we got a new world champion.
It's
Fake
true.
Man.
30-man battle royal to figure out who it was gonna be. Elimination battle royal, might I add.
Yeah, it went a lot quicker than we thought it would, which was kind of nice.
It was good.
Fake Man came out number 30. He won from the 30 spot, and
typical.
Eric Teagan came out after, and they had a little face-off.
Yeah.
And you know the former tag champs.
Yeah.
Go head to head maybe. Who's to say what's going to happen? And then the other big piece of news coming out of that, because we don't want to talk about this for too long, was MXG Marcus Xavier Goldman turned on Jake Impact. The Twitch Tag Team Champions held an open challenge. CJ Frost came out and answered the call. We got reports that he was challenging alone. But really, it was a swerve on us because MXG turned on his tag team championship partner with CJ Frost and retained / won the tag team championships.
Yeah, who knows?
I never seen anything like it. But MXG's got a lot of explaining to do. He said he needed to shed some dead weight. Hopefully we get more developments, but they did not finish the night there. They brawled it out in the backstage area in the parking lot. Jake Impact kicked his sorry ass.
Thank God. He needed a good beating.
You know, Kennedy retained the Twitch championship. Spotify championship was won by Eric Teagan. And we had Tyler Bate versus Speedball Mike Bailey. We also had the return of High Quality Victor in a fully bionic suit. But you can catch all of that and much more. Galeer Championship Wrestling on YouTube.
Hell yeah,
and that's where the back catalog
Go
is.
watch it, because there's some fire episodes on there if you've never seen single one.
There's history. There's like years and years of us being goofballs on commentary too, so it's always entertaining.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get to the real stuff.
Hell yeah, brother.
Dude, Smackdown was crazy.
Smackdown was absolutely nutty. Very, very good episode. WWE's been killing it with their weekly programming, man. They're on top right now for sure.
No doubt about it.
We started off the night. Of course, we were in Chicago, and what better way to start off a Chicago show than having CM Punk come out?
It's true.
And he gave a good promo. He's like, "Oh, Drew McIntyre quit. He's a quitter. You got to sacrifice so much for this business." And Drew McIntyre is just a little crybaby. And I'm CM Punk. And then all of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. We got an ECW reunion, baby.
It's true. You know, Paul's the reason CM Punk. A big factor, contributing factor. Punk's where he is right now.
Yeah.
Paul showed up. They had the embrace that we've all been waiting for since CM Punk's return, because I don't think they've gone they've come face to face since.
No, they haven't.
And they had a nice little hug, but then things got serious. Paul Heyman issuing his warning, as he did with so many others, saying, you're gonna want to get out of here because hell's a fucking coming, dude.
Yeah,
and
pretty much the same warning he gave to Kevin Owens. That was like, hey man, you gotta go. Like, you gotta get out of here. They're gonna beat the shit out of you. I don't want to see you get hurt. You're my only friend. And but before you leave, I need a favor. So he doesn't get to tell him the favor because he gets interrupted by Solo and his gang coming out. The Bloodline comes out, and Paul's like, I told you, you should have left. And so the Bloodline come out, they stare at him, and CM Punk starts talking about Solo, and he's like, you and the fake ass Usos and your phony cosplay tribal chief.
Yup.
Good stuff.
It's true.
But before he starts fighting the Bloodline and going after them, he says, hey Paul, what was that favor you wanted to ask me? And he looks at him with the saddest eyes I've ever seen on a man, and he goes, take me with you.
It was so good.
Incredible.
It was so freaking good, dude.
It was so good.
God. I think it's funny that, of all people, well, now I guess it's not that, it would make sense that Punk is like maybe his saving grace. But again, other than that, we want Roman chants around the building.
Yeah.
They want him back. I don't know if this is a stretch to say. I think Roman might be coming back sooner than we think.
I can agree with that. I really think, I'm thinking he comes back maybe at Money in the Bank, and then they have like a long build. Like well, I was gonna say Money in the Bank because, like, you remember when like Cena came back at Money in the Bank, and then we had the Summer of Cena, and his match led up to SummerSlam. I'm wondering if Roman comes back at Money in the Bank, or they push it long enough and he comes back at SummerSlam. I would say coming back at SummerSlam is probably the smarter idea, because then that's just bigger.
Then you get builds. You could either have a really long build to like something big at WrestleMania, or you have him come back like Survivor Series or Royal Rumble. One of the big four, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think we're pretty greenlit to have Roman have a match next year at Mania.
Yeah.
And what that's going to look like, whether it be Bloodline Civil War or like some kind of one-on-one thing, I don't know. But people want him back, and that's something I never thought I would say.
I know. It's going to be super interesting because he's going to come back and he's going to be like a babyface, and it's natural now because the crowd wants him.
That's what happens when we wait and we're patient.
Yeah.
We're patient wrestling fans.
That's
God. It was so good though, man. Like, also Solo, I know he wears the same thing every week, man. He's dressed like a kindergartner. Like,
dude,
give him like a button down shirt, or like even like a vest, like a suit vest jacket. And
I saw a clip the other day. I saw a TikTok the other day that someone made where it was Solo, and then Randy was doing his promo that he did where he spit everywhere, and every time it cut to Solo, it would play The Weeknd because he looked like The Weeknd with his red like button down.
Yeah, it's well, it's not even a button down. He's just wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah,
there's just a t-shirt under there with his suit jacket. Like, I don't know. I think too, he's just kind of like, respectfully, he's just built like a child.
Yeah, he is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I would take him more seriously with the Umaga gear, honestly.
Yeah, but I would too. He would look more menacing and shit like
yeah,
that.
but that wasn't the end of CM Punk that we saw that night, was it?
It was not. So CM Punk, well, even just to close out this first segment, because it got kind of crazy. The numbers game went up against CM Punk, so he was getting the shit kicked out of him, and Cody came out to help CM Punk, and they had bats, like wooden baseball bats, and they're both standing there in the ring, and then they were, they stood their ground, so we had Cody and CM Punk side by side, which I thought was really nice. It was a fun little scene to see, you know?
I thought what we were going to get for main event was that, like a 3v3 with them and fucking, I don't even know.
Yeah, so that led into Solo. Well, Cody was like, hey, if you want to talk all your shit and you're going to attack me after fucking Clash, then let's have a main event tonight. You versus me, Solo. So that is what happened. We got that main event. But circling back to CM Punk, like you said, that's not the last we saw of CM Punk.
Nope.
We had a segment backstage with Grayson Waller and DIY, and they're standing there and they're like, oh, you're manipulating Theory, man. And then there's a crash on the door like a couple times.
Has absolutely nothing to do with the segment.
Yeah, nothing at all. So there's crashes on the door and they're like, oh, what the fuck is that? And then the door slowly comes up, and standing there is a badass looking Drew McIntyre and a bloody CM Punk laying on the ground. And this was a sight to see, man. This was a really good shot. I really liked the way they did this. It was very natural, and it was like, oh shit, man.
We kind of saw it coming too. You
Yeah.
know? Like we knew this wasn't the end of Drew. Like he had to come.
Nobody quit.
Punk ruined his hometown moment. You know, it's only fitting that he comes and ruins things in Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so. So when they're standing outside and Drew picks up CM Punk, puts him on his shoulders, and walks all the way from the garage door to the entrance. And that's all one long camera shot. He walks through Gorilla, he walks through the entrance, puts him down. He goes down and does like the it's clobbering time type thing where he like rubs the floor. And then he looks at CM Punk's wrist and he takes what it seems to be like a friendship bracelet or something.
Yeah, it was his AJ Lee bracelet.
Yeah. So his AJ Lee bracelet, he took that, and then CM Punk left on a stretcher.
Yeah, and then Drew made his profile picture, the picture of CM Punk all beaten and bloody. It was good. It was
so good.
Yeah. Now I wonder, Drew's probably going to show up tonight on Raw.
Oh, yeah.
Talk some more shit, but is this just another excuse to keep Punk away for a little bit longer, you think?
I would say probably, like, not longer than a few weeks, because Money in the Bank is quick, so...
Yeah.
This is seemingly leading to Money in the Bank, but it very well could not, and they could just keep it going all the way till SummerSlam, so...
Part of me is like, keep the trend up, have Drew qualify for Money in the Bank, and then make him look like he's gonna win it. But also, at this point, that is like the most predictable thing you can do. Like, the last thing like we knew was gonna happen, but you're just driving it in the ground.
Yeah.
If you do it again, so I don't necessarily think that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I think that a canon event will happen, but I don't know if that's it, and we'll sit back and watch, and Drew will probably get what we wanted from Drew last week, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know if CM Punk will be back like tonight, but he'll probably be back like very, very soon, I imagine.
Yeah. Or maybe we don't see Drew either. He catches like a fat suspension.
Yeah, that could happen
like
too.
That
could happen too.
Who's to say?
But it's it's really great stuff, and it's good to see this feud continuing to build and shit like that.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman had a little backstage segment with Solo after this, and Solo was like, "What's this, wise man? You want to leave? You trying to go somewhere? Where are you going? You want to leave? And he's like, no, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave. And he goes, wow, it sounded like you really wanted to leave. So, what's going on? And he's like, nothing. It's just I don't think you're making some great decisions, and I really think you should use my counsel and all this stuff. And he's like, how about you go deal with this, and I gotta tell you something later. We're gonna talk. So that is, you know, we'll save that for the end of the night here.
Yeah.
So that's a little tease there. Then we had some more qualifying Money in the Bank matches and such, and we had 2 people qualify: Carmelo Hayes and Chelsea Green. Tell me your thoughts.
Chelsea Green winning in Chelsea Green fashion. I gotta give it to her. She stole the win basically the same way that Isla Dawn and company stole the win from Bianca and Jade.
Yeah.
At Clash. Literally, I think like the same exact way, just threw the other person away and stole the pin.
Yeah.
Which I thought was funny. I'm sure she'll get some good funnies going for the Money in the Bank. And then Carmelo Hayes, I gotta give a shout out to him because they didn't give him an entrance. And
right.
So I feel like when that happens, you're like, oh, okay, so he's probably losing. But no, he in fact won, and with everybody's favorite finisher as well, the most devastating finisher in all of wrestling, the surprise roll-up. He'll have some good spots, definitely.
Yeah, he'll be really good in that. Carmelo is he's absolutely crazy. I mean, we've talked about him before, and I think that first match he had with Cody was really good. But besides the double springboard silliness, the match he had with Randy after that was also very good. And you know, I think he's gonna pull off some crazy spots in Money in the Bank, so that'll be entertaining.
I think he's gonna rise up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
In the ranks, I think he's on like some Braun Breaker levels of like he could win the U.S. title in the future. I could see him even feuding with LA Knight because they had some good back and forth with each other.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking LA Knight's probably gonna win in SummerSlam. My prediction.
He needs to soon because he was on
or Money in the Bank whenever he plans on winning. I don't know.
Yeah, he had a meteoric rise, and he needs to, you know, I think they gotta strike while the iron's hot pretty soon here.
Pull the trigger.
Pull the trigger, baby. So yeah, a couple of qualifying matches, nothing crazy. Just 2 little surprise finishes. And then going back to the little talk between Solo and Paul Heyman, they're backstage, and he's saying, Paul Heyman's like, you know, when the tribal chief comes back, he's really not going to be happy with all this, and it's kind of crazy. And Solo goes, Paul, I got something to tell you. And I think you should hear it from me. Roman, he's not coming back.
Yes, he is.
Paul Heyman's face, he was like, what? No, that can't be true. It can't be true.
Why don't they just cut Paul Heyman loose? You know?
Yeah.
Paul Heyman...
Because I think the whole thing is, like, if Solo cuts Paul Heyman loose, I think he knows that Paul Heyman could pull something, like, crazy. So it's like, keep your enemy close. He's got a lot of
stroke. But in the same vein, he's got a lot of stroke, but he's not... Paul Heyman ain't acting like it, you know?
Yeah. Because he's sad because his friends, his wife, his tribal chief is not there.
Yeah, poor guy. Poor baby.
Poor baby.
Roman's coming back. Come on, man. He's coming back.
He'll come back soon.
Also, this idea that, like, he's just cut off from talking to Roman all because of Solo stepping on his cell phone.
I love that.
He was about to call
much.
Roman Reigns, and then he took the phone and stepped on it, and now he just can't call Roman Reigns. That phone had the number on it, now he doesn't have it anymore.
He doesn't have it anymore. Oh, man. It's so funny to me. Well, I love it. I love the stuff they're doing here with this, and it's just so good. So good.
Definitely. And what happened in the main event?
Main event was crazy. Cody and Solo were doing their thing. However, it didn't last very long. It was only like a couple minutes. And then
it was
Solo,
literally like 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, and then Solo's like, all right, I'm sick of this. And the infamous Tonga Loa and the right hand Tama Tonga came out, start beating the shit out of Cody. And then RKO comes out. I love calling them that. Randy and Kevin Owens.
It's good.
And that shirt goes hard.
Pairing I never would have thought of.
Yeah. RKO comes out. They come help Cody. And, you know, again, the numbers game is even now. And they're, like, chilling. And they got Solo backed into a corner. And he's like, no, don't hit me, don't hit me. And then he just gets the biggest smirk on his face. And then out of nowhere, who comes out, Galeer?
Jacob Fatu has arrived in, I almost said GCW, on SmackDown. Jacob, he was what we thought we were gonna get first.
Yeah.
He was the one that we were like, oh my god, this would be huge for them to pick up. Immediately, in the span of, I don't even know how long it was, like 4 or 5 minutes, not even. He outshined every single member of the bloodline.
Dude,
like, more than they have, like, he looked better than Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga and Solo have ever looked since starting this new bloodline.
They made him, I mean, they didn't make him look this way, but he looked like a savage, dude. He's crazy, and
he's
I love it.
Terrifying, dude. Like, sure, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa are very big, scary dudes, but, like, this guy looks insane. And, like, he looks like he's like, he's tapped. He looks like
unhinged.
He ate something he shouldn't have, and and now he's like, I don't know.
He's cracked out.
Yeah, he's cracked.
Dude, like,
I was just so excited when he showed up, because you obviously you hear the crowd pop before you see him, and I was like, it's Jacob Fatu. It's got to be. Yeah. It's either him or Hikuleo, but you know, it was Jacob Fatu. He moves like Ron Breakker.
Yeah.
Similar builds too. He's got the same like agility and athleticism as Ron Breakker, and you know, he's sending himself through that announce table, and he's doing all these. He's here. He sure is here.
Yeah, he outshined all of them. He beat the shit out of Randy and Kevin Owens, and then he put Cody on the table, the commentary table. He jumped on him from the fucking turnbuckle, and it was crazy, man. He's an intense motherfucker. I love this too.
New tribal chief.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this because, like, they've been, like, Paul Heyman's been saying, like, oh, you can't keep getting these people, like, they're unhinged, they're crazy, and Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, like, they don't seem that crazy. It's just like, oh, two big boys. But getting Jacob Fatu now, it's like the words mean something. Boy. He's fucking crazy, man.
Well, he's the one, again, he's the one we all kind of were assuming they were going to bring in. Yeah. He's the one that, like, we have the highlights and shit of to, you know, we know he's fucking dangerous. Like, and also, you watch his MLW stuff, he's a fucking machine, brother. Do they continue to grow this bloodline? I don't know.
This is probably it, and then I think you'll have, like, The Rock come back at some point, and he'll be like the head of these
War
ones.
Games, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
I'm also thinking War Games. Like, I'm thinking like setting up like team size.
Yeah. Like OG Bloodline versus New Bloodline. So
yeah, I
think that's what we're gonna get for that. It's just really good to see Jacob Fatu.
What a dream finally show we're living in.
It's crazy. So yeah, SmackDown, very, very, very good episode. And then we had AEW Rampage. It exists.
Yeah,
but then we had AEW Collision. And
Collision was good.
Was this the first match? Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata?
Yep.
So this match was so good. I love the stuff that Shibata is doing right now. So they're doing this bit where like Hook and Samoa Joe are on camera, and the bit is Shibata found a camera backstage, and they're like, "Where do you keep getting this camera?" He's like, "I know people." And so Shibata has the camera, and he like records them backstage and stuff. So on last week's Collision, they did this bit where they were in a locker room, and the Premier Athletes left a note for Hook and Samoa Joe. And it was like, "Hey, we're gonna face you next week on Collision," and all this stuff. And he's like, "Man," and then Shibata said, "I'm gonna whoop those bitches," or something in his fucking text translator thing. So good. But so it led to this match with Samoa Joe, Hook, Shibata versus Premier Athletes, and Shibata also did the nope spot, and Hook did it last week. So and every time one of them do it, Samoa Joe's on the apron and he points and fucking laughs. He's like, "Yeah, woo!" He loves it.
Yeah, it's good. I'm wondering if they're building them up to challenge for the trios championships.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Well, I'm thinking that they're also feuding. I'm thinking 4 big teams right now. Well, I was, and then one of them
for the trios.
House of Black. Yeah, Joe, Hook, Shibata.
Yeah.
Patriarchy.
Yeah.
And then the Learning Tree.
Yeah.
Well, obviously they've got the Learning Tree and the Samoa Joe, Hook, Shibata kind of button heads. Their business isn't really finished yet. But then there's also Bang Bang Gang, who are like really funny and really charismatic and really good with the championships and the 9 belts and whatever. I'd like them to keep them a little longer, but there's also some good teams here. I could see like Jericho's team for a little longer than maybe go for the trios titles.
Yeah.
It's kind of uncertain right now. Patriarchy is also like a big contender for those championships. I think Christian needs a championship. Well, he does. I rephrase. He doesn't need a championship. It would be cool to see him with a championship. He can keep doing what he's doing without one.
Yeah. I agree.
So I don't know where you like. What do you think? Where do you think this is gonna go?
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll eventually go for that, or they're gonna like turn it into a thing where you're gonna end up getting Samoa Joe versus Hook versus Shibata like down the line for something. Yeah. I don't know what. But they're teaming up for now, so assumingly they would go for those trios titles. I think that's really the only direction for them.
At the moment.
Yeah.
I thought Learning Tree, Jericho and Big Bill versus Private Party was really good.
Yeah, that was a fun match too.
I thought Private Party was kind of gonna pull an upset, but it's good to see it's good to see them shining. They're a great tag team. They're again another one of those teams. They've been around since the beginning of AEW, and they've unfortunately always had to have someone kind of there to help put them over, and for them it was Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
For a long time. I think they can stand on their own at this point, and I think this match kind of showed that.
Oh my God, is that Private Party?
Shots, 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 shots. Anyways. Yeah. And then the Jericho and friends won by cheating. And then
like usual,
yeah.
Hi, Branch.
Hi, Branch. Hey, guys.
I love it. Learning Tree is really good stuff, man.
It's goated. I'm sorry, it is. Never. I think it was like the very first AEW episode we did. I shat all over it because it was right before the Learning Tree really started blooming.
Yeah, before it started growing and becoming the big redwood that it is.
Yeah, it's true. With bad apples all over
it. Moving on, Will Ospreay versus Brian Cage for the International Championship. Good match, useless match.
You know, we've been saying this every week.
Every single week, man.
It's a good match. Didn't need to happen.
Didn't need to happen. Absolutely useless.
This is very
and
good.
Again,
like, Brian...
Like I said last episode, Brian Cage just got it because he was mad. It's the second title defense in a row that Will Ospreay has had to do because the other guy goes, hey, I'm mad. I want a title shot. And they're like, okay.
Yo, listen up. Ain't no better way to make a wrestler look like a bitch than to book him like that.
Yeah.
And Brian Cage, you know, Brian Cage can hang. He's a former TNA World Champion. Like, he ain't nothing to sneeze at.
Right.
And, again, this is a great match. Yeah, you know, it's just a mess. And, again, where does it end?
Yeah.
They're facing, Swerve and Will Ospreay are teaming up. That is like, I understand that, you know, classic build to a match where you have the opponents team up with each other.
Yeah, and then something's going to happen, and they're going to have their stare down at the end.
Exactly. Literally exactly the way you're saying it's probably going to play out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. This whole pay-per-view is going to be something.
It's gonna be a pay-per-view that I have on the other monitor while I play video games.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I play a little Red Dead 2 while I watch this thing. And who knows, maybe it's good. Maybe AEW will do the thing that AEW does where you're not really looking forward to a pay-per-view, and then there's like, the matches actually turn out better than you thought they would.
Yeah.
And then they like have a big surprise, and then you're like, that was a sick pay-per-view, and then we go back to like shitty TV programming.
Yeah.
Their ratings. I wanted to talk about this because I heard about this morning.
Yeah, I briefly mentioned it. I briefly mentioned it when we were talking about last episode, but go with it.
Yeah, I didn't realize until this morning they had, I think it was the lowest viewership they've had.
Yeah, ever.
I think all time. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure I haven't heard about it being this bad since they, you know, started in 2019.
Yeah, it was an all-time low.
Their lowest point was like below 500,000 people, and then I think their average was like 530,000.
Yeah.
Which is insane just by itself, because think about, they used to do like in the millions every week.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people. And, you know, I think people were speculating that there's a bunch of different reasons. It could have been that way. There was like this fucking Kendrick Lamar concert, and then there was a few other things. But people were also saying the lead-in for the show was Black Panther, which you could assume a lot of people are probably going to be watching.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's
and the first match was commercial free.
The first match was commercial free, and it was MJF.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But there's no cut and dry, you know, plainly laid out reason why we don't have that, you know. And also, I don't know what the fucking the like rubric is, or the fucking measurements. Like, how I don't know how this rating shit works.
Yeah.
But these are the reported numbers.
Again, there's a lot of different reasons, and like I said last episode, we're not shitting on AEW, but
oh my god,
here's the thing.
No,
it's a different product for a different audience. If you
it's always been a different product,
yeah,
but it's just a worse version of that product.
I feel like lately, I the whole time it's been, if you want like wrestling, like you're like a hardcore wrestling fan, give me the matches, give me the good matches against good people, right? That's AEW.
A lot of dream matches.
Yeah. You want good matches, solid matches, and you don't really care about the storylines. AEW, boom. If you want to watch your soap opera for men, which has been thrown around a lot lately, fucking WWE. This shit's crazy. The stories are crazy right now. I love my soap opera. Give me my soap opera every week. If you want those, then that's what you watch. But I feel like AEW had a good balance before where they attracted both audiences, but now it's feeling like they literally don't give a fuck about the storylines, like, at all. And they're just matching up people to match people up. You know, I would say the only people right now with some kind of a story are the Learning Tree, the Patriarchy, and then kind of Swerve and Osprey, but it's meddled with all this other shit.
I'd say Tony Storm.
Tony Storm too, yeah. Tony Storm and Mariah May, that whole thing is like a good story too, and all the vignettes and shit that they're doing. Like that is good. And they're probably Tony Storm and Mariah May and Chris Jericho and the Learning Tree and Christian, I guess. They're like the best character actors in AEW right now. Yeah, other than that, you don't have anyone.
Yeah.
The rest are just wrestlers to be wrestlers.
Here, but like he's wrestling Hechicero.
I feel like MJF's not even like a character. He's just MJF. You know, like
he's just a guy.
Yeah.
Well, he ditched the Burberry scarf. I'm just realizing now that he doesn't wear the scarf anymore.
Yeah. It's still
on his entrance. I wonder what the reason behind that is. Not that the Burberry scarf is the be-all, end-all for MJF, but you're going to have him in his first big pay-per-view match against Hechicero, who I'm sure is very popular over in Mexico.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Give us something that, you know, something, even if it's not Adam Cole, give us something that we've been wanting to see MJF in.
Maybe Adam Cole will show up at Forbidden Door again and do something with MJF.
And then disappear for another month?
Yeah.
I don't know. But, yeah. This pay-per-view is looking pretty lackluster.
Yeah.
AEW isn't dead, though. Stop saying AEW's dead. Y'all are commenting on our shit like this. It's dead. Like, no, if it was dead, we would not be
we wouldn't be talking about it.
We wouldn't be talking about it. They're still one of the most widely talked about wrestling promotions, even if it's not for good reason.
Whether you like it or not, they are number 2 in the U.S. at least. They are number 2.
Yep.
And you could even argue they are number 2 globally because AEW and NJPW. A lot of AEW people show up in NJPW. A lot of AEW people show up everywhere. Like
this whole pay-per-view is like a partnership with CMLL, more or less. So,
yeah. They are number 2. It is okay to be number 2. They don't need to be number 1.
They respectfully are never going to be number 1.
No, they're not.
WWE, even when they started and WWE kind of sucked, they were always a good alternative. WWE is always going to be above.
Yeah.
Unless the fucking unthinkable happens and they just crumble. But like, it's again the same. It goes for both of them. Like, they are not going to die. Like, as I said before, it's only Tony Khan got money to put in it. It's chilling. Even if they lose a TV deal, it's like Impact. Impact's not dead. They are severely less than what they used to be.
Yeah.
But, like,
I think
AEW's in...
Even if AEW gets as small as TNA, like 15 years from now, they are going to exist. As long as TNA has
a very hardcore fan base.
Oh, like, for sure.
I will still watch AEW.
Dude, 20 years from now, I'll be sitting there and be like, yo, remember when fucking CM Punk showed up 17 years ago? And we'll be like, yeah, man, that was crazy.
It'll be like fucking, who's the world champ in 20 years?
Someone new.
I'm trying to think. Nick Wayne.
Nick Wayne's
the world champ. Or like, Austin Gunn and Colton Gunn broke up, and Austin Gunn's the like TNT champion.
How old will Ric Flair be? 90?
He'll be dead, my friend.
He'll be dead, but he'll be like, hold on, how old is he right now? Ric Flair is 75. 20 years from now, Ric Flair will be 95 years old, and I still think he's gonna walk out and go, woo! But he'll be in a wheelchair.
And he's gonna be your AEW world champion.
Yeah, man. Gotta bring it back somehow. No, honestly,
man.
MJF or something. MJF on his 15th world title run, tying John Cena.
Oh, he could do it. Anyways, long-winded. I also really wanted to quickly touch on Okada's Eliminator match. I've decided the reason I don't like the Eliminator matches is and maybe this was already said. I like to complain.
Yeah.
It can just be a match, and then if what's his name, Ultimo Guerrero wins,
Yeah.
then he gets a title shot. Why? Like, I feel like when you refer to it as an eliminator match, it just like that should just be any match, in my opinion. If you're able to pin the world champion, you deserve a world title shot.
Yeah.
I don't know why we got to put a name on the match. What are they being eliminated from?
The tournament bracket. The invisible tournament bracket in the rating system that they got rid of after Samoa Joe lost the title. But it still exists, kind of.
Yeah.
You know?
Great rating system, man. Great chatting with you. Thanks for coming on my 10-minute drive home. That somehow was 50 minutes.
Have you been sitting in your driveway for 40 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah, it's all good.
It is
the AC's working. The AC's decided to work today.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Hell yeah, brother.
Today, though. That's today.
It's just today. All right, Galeer.
That's just today.
As always, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Don't forget to Dropkick some hydration.
Dropkick?
A nice glass of water.
Yeah.
With ice in it.
Yeah, and a Baja Blast.
And shout out to sugar-free Red Bull. It's the edition flavors. They're back.
They're good?
They brought them back.
Hell yeah.
We'll see y'all on the end of the week. I was gonna say Friday, but
beep beep.
Oh.